So in this session I am going to explain the topic which is total what is mean by actuator and how many types of actuators are there and how they are constructed. So that we'll see in this today's session. So based upon the input applied to the particular one, that is divided into 2 or 3 types of actuators. First one is a pneumatic actuator, hydraulic actuator as well as electrical actuator. So in the electrical actuator we are going to supply the electrical signal, either it may be voltage or current as an input. In the pneumatic actuator we are going to supply the pressure as an input signal, and next hydraulic actuator, whatever you are going to supply, that is lubricant, that pressure of that viscosity of the lubricant as an input for that particular hydraulic actuator. So what is meant by actuator actually? So that is whatever the requirement of the final control element that will be given by the actuator from the controller. So actuator which will take the input from the controller, that input will be converted as whatever the requirement of the final control element. Nothing but basic simple definition, actuator is a mediator between that particular controller as well as a final control element. So first we'll discuss about the pneumatic actuators. In this pneumatic actuators, there are depending upon the construction whatever we used or whatever they operated, depending upon the operation of that particular pneumatic actuator, those are divided into 5 types. Spring actuator with positioner, springless actuator, piston actuator and motor actuator. So these are the 5 types of pneumatic actuators. So 5 common methods. So spring actuator, first we'll see about the construction of a spring actuator. So this is a spring actuator. So you already know the how the control valve will be and how the actuator. Okay, so this is a basic structure of an actuator. So in this basic structure of an actuator we are going to use that diaphragm. Whatever here we are going to use a pressure element, right? So in that pressure element, what we are using here, pressure element or pressure measurement devices or bellows, so bellows, diaphragms. So these are the basic pressure measurement devices. So bellows, this is a construction of bellows. According to the pressure applied, that will be expanded. So from here you are going to apply the pressure. So according to the pressure, this bellow will expand, that will move or that will give the output as displacement. So in the same way, this is a diaphragm. So diaphragm construction will be like this. So this is a diaphragm. When you apply pressure from this side, when you apply pressure from upper side, that will move down, that will bend like this. Whenever you apply pressure in the bottom side, that will bend like this in the upward direction. So bending of that particular diaphragm will give the displacement. This will be connected to the control valve. Okay, so here you see the diagram. So this is a construction of the particular thing which is a spring actuator. Here in that spring actuator, why it is called as a spring actuator means here this consists of a spring. This is a spring. That spring is connected to the thick line. Here this thick line will indicate the diaphragm, and here the diaphragm will be supported by the backing plate. This is a backing plate which will support the diaphragm, and the spring is connected to this one. This you observe here. This is the stem of that particular controller or final control element. For example, this is a pipe now. So this is, let us take this is a pipe. So from here I am going to get the inflow, and from here we are going to get the outflow. Let us take. Okay. So for example, whenever I am not going to apply any input, what you are supplying input here, that is a pressure signal. So we are not applying any pressure signal. So we are not supplying any pressure signal means this diaphragm will in the equilibrium position. Okay. So equilibrium position means that is actual whatever that is in the same position, that will be remains in same. So is there any movement in the stem? No. So is there any restriction in the flow? No. Whatever you supplied, that will be transferred sufficiently. Okay, without obstruction, that will supply sufficiently, totally. So this, whenever you increase the pressure, or you apply pressure like this, so that air flow which will come in this direction, that will move the diaphragm to the down. So whenever this diaphragm will move to the down, whatever the stem is connected to this particular diaphragm, this will be come down. This will be come down. In previously the stem is in this position, but now whenever you apply pressure, according to the diaphragm movement, this stem will move down. So whenever this stem will move down, that will restrict the flow of the inflow rate. Okay, so nothing but this will closes that particular entire pipe. Is there any flow, output flow rate? No, that will be 0. So whenever you apply maximum pressure, this diaphragm will move entirely down, that stem will down entirely closes the particular pipe. So that output flow rate will become 0 here. Okay, so whenever you are not applying any pressure means this diaphragm is normal position, so that stem will totally upward, then total inflow will be as a total outflow. Whatever you are going to supply, that you are going to get it the output side. Okay, so this is about the spring actuator. Why it is called as a spring actuator? So this consists of a single spring. This is called as a spring. So here diaphragm, and this is backing plate, and here X. X is nothing but output, whatever the displacement we are taking. That stem, whatever the control valve is having a stem, no, according to this one, that will closes or opening the valve. Okay, opening the particular pipe valve, which is like a control valve. You already know like this, in daily life we are going to use some pipe, and in that manual valve are there. So whenever you valve in the anti-clockwise direction, entire that will be opened. Whatever you are supplying inflow, that you are getting at the outflow. Okay, so this valve, whenever we move this in the clockwise direction, that will closes means what? This stem or this line will come down, that will restrict the flow. So that line is called as a stem. Okay, that line of that particular manual thing is called as a stem. Depending upon the stem movement only, that output flow rate will depends. If stem is totally upward direction, that will allows the maximum flow rate. Whenever this stem is in the totally downward position, then that will totally restrict the output flow rate. Okay, that output flow rate will become 0 here. Okay, so what we are supplying here, input as a M, that is M is a input pressure we are supplying. What is the output here? Output is a displacement. Nothing but that may be inches, or that may be in centimeters, or that may be in millimeters. Okay, so here when we draw the transfer function of this particular thing, this is a block. Let us take this is a block of a spring actuator. For this spring actuator, we are going to supply M1 as 3 to 15 psi, and output, what we are supplying here, output we are going to get, that is a displacement, that is 0 to 2 inches. You already came across with the flow diagram. Okay, so flow loop in a plant, in a lab experiment, you already seen that one, that is which is having a electromechanical valve, and that is having a scale here, that stem moment, which is from 5, 0, 5, 10, 15. I explained in one video, right? So 0, 5, 10, 15. So this is nothing but scale of that particular stem, which we are going to measure in inches. So here that will taken in the range of 0 to 2 inches. But always pressure and current ranges should be 3 to 15 psi and 4 to 20 milliamps. Okay, this is a range of pressure as well as current respectively. So this is about spring actuator. So first one, which is a very simple, that is spring actuator. So what is the second one, which is a spring actuator with positioner. So what is meant by positioner here? So positioner means whenever, what is the drawback in this particular spring actuator? In order to come to the original position, Actually, whenever you supply pressure here, that will stem will come down according to the pressure supplied. Okay, but again that have to come back to the original position. That will take time. Okay, again that will that have to come to the original position, but instantly that will come back. No, that will take time to come back to the original position. So in order to get rid of that particular time delay, we are going for spring actuator with the positioner. Okay, so what is meant by positioner? That positioner which will include, that positioner which will includes the input below. So that will includes the input below, nozzle, and as well as amplifying payload and feedback lever and spring. So entire these all components are included or called as a positioner. So once again, here this is a second type of pneumatic actuator, which is a spring actuator with positioner. Spring actuator with positioner. So what is meant by spring actuator with positioner? That is spring that is having spring along with the spring that is having positioner. So what is positioner includes? That position includes one bellow. This is a bellow and a flopper nozzle mechanism. This is a flopper nozzle mechanism, whatever I rounded here, flopper nozzle mechanism. And third one, that is having pilot, that is having pilot. And then fourth, that is feedback lever, feedback lever. So these all four components together called as a positioner. These all four components are together call it as positioner. Okay, so how it operate, we'll see now. So here, which is the same principle or same operational procedure. Whenever you are going to supply the input pressure here, so from here you are going to supply input pressure. Whenever you increase the pressure or you supply pressure, what happened to the bellow here? Bellow will expand. So bellow will expand towards the left. This lever of that particular bellow is connected to the flapper nozzle mechanism. This is a flapper nozzle mechanism. You can observe here that bellow end is connected to the flapper, or this is also called as baffle. So flapper as well as this is nozzle. Here I'll draw clearly. So this is a diagram. This is connected to, from here I am going to supply the pressure, and this is connected to like this. So whenever this bellow will expand, what happened to the nozzle or baffle? What happened to the flapper? That will move towards the nozzle. That will closes the nozzle gap here. Whenever that will closes the nozzle gap, we are going to supply air supply here. So if this air supply is going in this way, no, there is no way to move like this. So that entire air supply that will goes to the pilot. So pilot is nothing but an amplifier circuit. So amplifier. So that will amplify the pressure of that particular input air supply. Okay. So from here to here, that need to move means that will have a more pressure in order to move the diaphragm down. So in order to increase the pressure of this particular air supply, here that will connect it to the pilot. Pilot is nothing but the amplifier, amplifying the pressure of that particular air supply. That will increases the pressure here. Whenever pressure of that particular air is increases, that will move long distances. Okay, that will move long distances. So that air pressure which will be applied to the diaphragm here. So whenever we apply air pressure to here, then the diaphragm will move down. Whenever the diaphragm will move down, this stem, whatever it is connected, that will move down. Okay, that will restrict the flow rate. So this will move down means this will come down. This lever, this feedback lever is also come down. So like this. If this is come down, what happened to here? This is fixed here. So whenever this come down, this will move left side. This will move left side. Okay. So this will move left means this spring will, which will move this particular flapper to the original position. So this will come back to the original position. Okay. I think this is clear. Once again I'll repeat. Here, here you are going to supply 2 as an input. Okay, in our M1 is an actual input supply. Whenever you are going to supply M1, here bellow will expand. Whenever a bellow will expand, that will move the baffle towards the nozzle. This baffle is nothing but flapper. So baffle is nothing but a flapper. That flapper which will move towards the nozzle here, nothing but nozzle gap will be reduces. So here I am going to supply air supply. This is a flopper nozzle mechanism, right? Another air supply is there. So that air supply is not having a way to move like this. So that entire air supply which will goes to the diaphragm by the amplifier unit. Here pilot will amplify the air signal that will supply to the diaphragm. So whenever diaphragm upward direction, here that will supply air supply, that will move the diaphragm to the downward position. So whenever that will move down, this stem will move down accordingly. Whenever this will down, this lever will come down like this. So this will move down means this will move left. So this will move left like this. Why? Because here once is fixed. So whenever this is moved down, then this is moved left. So this is move left means this flapper will come to the original position. Okay. So this is about spring actuator with positioner. Okay. So what is the third one? Which is a springless actuator. So springless actuator. So here you observe these two diagrams are same. But we are not having spring in the diaphragm construction. Here you observe that we are not having any spring construction here. This is only the difference, and here this is again. Why? Because here there is no spring. So that diaphragm need to come back to the original position means we need to connect another thing to replace that particular spring. Here another thing what we are doing here, that is a cushion regulator. So from here, from the cushion regulator, we are going to supply air pressure from the downward. Then the diaphragm will move to the original position. So once you'll see the operation of that particular springless diaphragm actuator. So whatever, same thing here, whenever you supply the input pressure here, this bellow will move towards to the right. So that will move right means this will closes the air gap between the flopper as well as a nozzle. So total air supply will goes to the amplifying unit. Why? Because this is not come down here, there is no gap. Total air supply will move like this. That will amplify it and that will be supplied to the diaphragm. That diaphragm will move come down. Diaphragm will move down. So accordingly that stem will also move down. So whenever stem is moved down means this lever will downward. Lever also will move down. So this will move down means this will come to the left, and again this will come back to the original position. So this flapper is again come back to the original position. But how the diaphragm will come back to the original position? By supplying air pressure from the downward direction. So this is expanded like this. This will move down. Whenever you supply pressure, this diaphragm will move down like this. But this is have to move to the original position. So whenever you supply air pressure from here, then this diaphragm will move up. Okay. So wherever you are supplying air pressure, that is called as a cushion regulator. By this regulator valve, we are going to change how much of air pressure we need to supply to regulate or to come back to the original position of the diaphragm. Okay. So diaphragm need to come to the original position. Either that may be with the spring or else by using a cushion regulator. So why we are eliminating spring here? Because spring is having a mechanical movement. So whenever mechanical device is there, that will damage in long run. Okay, you already came across with a spring. Some spring pens you have, right? So whenever spring pens are there, after long run use, that spring will damage. That movement will be not exactly, we are not getting that nib will come come back or come in or come out, that nib position is not accurate. Okay, so in order to eliminate that accuracy, or in order to eliminate that disadvantage of that spring movement, we are going to place a cushion regulator. So how much of pressure that will need to come back the diaphragm to the original position, that will be regulated by this particular knob, and that much of air supply which will be supplied by this air pipe by using a cushion regulator, and that diaphragm will come original position. Okay, so this is about springless diaphragm actuator. Next, fourth one, which is a double acting piston actuator. So here, double acting piston actuator. This is a fourth type of your pneumatic actuator. So here you observe, which is a simple diagram. We don't have any diaphragm here. So because of here we are eliminating the diaphragm because we need to connect a spring or else any cushion regulator like that in order to come to the diaphragm to the original position. So in order to avoid entire those things, here we are going to place just a piston. So this is a piston. So this piston will move up or down according to the movement, according to the whatever you are going to supply, input supply. Okay, according to the input supply, this piston will move down or move up. Whenever you supply here, you observe piston input here. So piston input, which is at top side as well as from bottom side. So whenever you supply pressure at the top side, what happened to the piston? Piston will move down. Whenever you supply input pressure from the bottom side, then this piston will move up. So this piston will move down means this stem is also move down. Whenever this piston will move up means that stem is also move up. Okay, stem will move up, stem will move down according to the whatever the input supplied here. If input is supplied from the bottom side, then that will move up. Whenever that will supplied from the top side, then that stem will move down. Okay, so same construction, but here we are not connecting any diaphragm. We are not connecting any diaphragm here. You see the operation procedure. So whenever you supply input pressure from this side, same principle, this bellow will expand towards to the right. Towards to the right means whatever the baffle connected here, that will move this lever to the right side. So whenever this will, I already told, this is a lever construction. This is a lever construction. One end is fixed. Whenever this lever is come down, this point, this will, if this is come down, this will move left. Okay, this, for example, this is a lever. This, let us take this is a lever. So whenever this will, I'm pushing this is down, then what happened this one? This will move left. Okay, so whenever I'm moving this to the top, what happening here? This is also move in the upward direction. In the same way, here this is a lever. This lever, whenever this will come down, this will move left. Whenever this lever come, this one will move right, then this will move up. Okay, so same principle here we are using. This is a baffle which is connected. Whenever this will move right means this lever will move right. Lever will move right means this will move like this. Whenever this will move move like this topward lever will move to the top direction. So whenever this will move top, then here we are having a piston construction like this. This is a piston, and here we are having outlets. Okay, so this lever will move up means this will come, this will move up. This entire thing will move up. So entire thing will move up means like this, that is moving. You observe here. So like this is not. So this piston will move up and this is also move up. What happened here? This valve will open here and this valve is also open. That air supply which will come from first that will move like this. This piston will move down, that stem will move down, and then this will move down means this will move down and this will move left side and this will be come back to the original position. Then that air supply will come, that will supply from here to here, then that piston will move up, that will come to the original position. Okay, so depending upon the piston movement here, we are going to supply or we are going to get the movement of the stem position. Once again same principle, but here we eliminated the spring construction, we eliminated spring, we eliminated diaphragm, and then we also eliminated flopper nozzle mechanism. Just we are making simpler and simpler. Okay, what the actuator construction we are going to make it as simpler to simpler. Using of a components we are going to reduce. So this is called as a double acting piston actuator. So this is called as a double acting piston. Whenever this is move up means that air pressure which will move from the upward direction, that piston will move down. So this whenever this will come down means that air pressure which will come from the downward direction, that piston will move up. Okay, so just here we are going to eliminate the flopper nozzle mechanism. By replacement of the flopper nozzle mechanism, I am going to place a lever, extra lever here. In the previous diagram we are having only a feedback lever. Here in this case we are having a flopper nozzle mechanism, that we eliminated by again a lever. And here we are having what we have, whatever the construction, that will be eliminated by the pilot valve here. Okay, so I think this is clear. Whenever input supply is supplied, bellow will expand towards the right, that will move up, that lever will move up, that air supply which will come from the upward direction, that piston will move down, that stem will also move down. So whenever this will move down means this lever will come down and this will move to the left and that will come back to the original position. So this is about fourth type of your pneumatic actuator. And lastly, which is a fifth type, which is called as a motor actuator. So actually this is motor actuator, which is a combination of somehow that is a mechanical movement as well as pneumatic type. So here instead of connecting a pilot, that is piston or any diaphragm construction, that will totally eliminated by the motor construction. So this is a servo type motor, servo type motor. So same principle here, whenever you are supplying a air supply, this will move left, this lever will move up, this lever will move up means this piston will move up, this piston will move up, that air supply which will come in this direction. So whenever this air pressure will come in this direction, this will rotate in the clockwise direction, this will rotate in the clockwise direction means this entire thing come down. Okay, that will rotate. So whenever this, again this will come back to the original position, whenever the air pressure will come down, come from the downside, this air motor here, that will move in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so that will move anti-clockwise direction means this entire spring, this zigzag construction, that is servo type construction, that will totally move to the top side. Okay, so this will move top whenever that air pressure we are going to apply from the bottom side. Whenever we supply air pressure from the top side, this will come down. Okay, total, which is related to the stem movement operation, either stem will be moved up or down according to the pressure we are going to supply. Okay, so this is about pneumatic actuators. Totally 5 types of pneumatic actuators. First one is a spring actuator. Second one is a springless spring actuator with positioner. So once again I will show the diagrams here. So this is a spring actuator, which is a very simple construction. There is no use of any bellows, flopper nozzle mechanism, any pilot or any regulators we are not using. Just we are going to supply the input pressure and diaphragm and that will come down, and actually original by time being that will come back to the original position. Okay, so this is spring actuator. In order to reduce the time being, here we connected the entire positional construction, which is having a bellow, flopper nozzle mechanism, pilot as well as a feedback levers. So this is a spring actuator with positioner. And third thing, springless actuator. In order to reduce the mechanical recurring, so mechanical corrosion of a mechanical components like spring, that we are going to eliminate the spring here, that is springless actuator, by placing a cushion regulator here. So by regulating the input pressure, that according to that one, that diaphragm will come back to the original position. This is springless actuator. And this is double acting piston actuator. Here we entirely eliminated the flopper nozzle mechanism as well as the diaphragm. And lastly, that piston is also eliminated by a air motor, rotary air motor. This is a servo type, whenever that will constructed with air, that will operated with air pressure. So air pressure, whenever we apply from the top side, that will rotate anti-clockwise direction. When we supply air pressure as a bottom side, that will rotate, and the first one, that is a clockwise direction, second one, that is an anti-clockwise direction. Okay,